The On Water Intensive is an experimental field school. It's a place-based research seminar over 10 days, exploring Philadelphians' changed relations between land and water. We live in a time of climate change, and the kinds of challenges that local communities are experiencing are different and varied, but they are all changing. One of the things that is true across places is the types of knowledge communities to address these challenges don't really yet exist. So we formed this research seminar that brought together science communicators, scientists, historians, environmental humanists, and students and public partners to try to start building these thick collaborations that might provide a model for other places to be able to quickly connect research communities with public audiences.
We visited a lot of different places on the 2-week intensive. One of the places that stuck out for me the most was when we went to the Wissahickon Creek. It was a day led by researchers from the Academy of Natural Sciences, and they took us physically into the creek and we did fish shocking, which is something I had never heard of. We grabbed buckets and nets and we went fishing. While they shocked the fish, we would collect them. It was interesting to see how they took the measurements of the fish afterwards and how they collected all this data. I know I didn't realize how they could measure the life in the river and see how it's progressing or changing due to environmental impact.
During the second week, we took a boat ride from the Independent Seaport Museum down to the confluence of the Delaware River and the Schuylkill River, which was a landscape I had never really seen before. And it was really fun to compare the landscape on the banks of the Delaware, which is so heavily industrialized, just this massive scale of shipyards, old factories, and then compare that to the Schuylkill River. The Dutch called it the Hidden River, and I think a lot of that ecology is still very much alive today. Another really cool day that we had was we took kayaks out from Bartram's Gardens to explore the banks of the Schuylkill River, and it was really fun to see the water from the ground level. The only interaction I had had with the Schuylkill prior to that was walking across Walnut Street Bridge or looking from the rooftop of a building. So it was really cool to get such a water level perspective, seeing the undersides of bridges, being able to look more at the ecology of what actually lives along the banks.
So we really learned from each other. And one example when that really came into use is when we were doing a project led by Jacob Rivkin, the residential artist. And he set us off on the task to create a documentary on a floating monument. So we made a floating crane, and the whole idea is that it was made up of what we've termed natural products and non-natural products. So it was a mix of trash that landed up in Bartram's garden, as well as leaves and feathers. We saw a crane as a symbol of a bird that has adapted throughout the changes in the lower Schuylkill River, and we believe it will be there for a very long time.
I think a lot of the exercises that we did at the On Water Intensive were really geared toward promoting this bidirectional flow between community members and research. So on the one hand, having community members use the research in various aspects of the Schuylkill River and their projects, whether that be creating educational materials or helping people understand their health as it relates to the river. And on the other hand, having community members become stakeholders in research on the Schuylkill River.
We really wanted to be on boats, in part because we wanted to be able to look at certain bioindicators in the water that we could only really measure from a boat. But there's something incredibly powerful about the boat as a metaphor. We're thinking about the kind of collaborative communities we need that will keep us afloat in a watery future. We're thinking about the ethics of collaboration. Who floats in, who floats out? And so that's what we're really practicing. And we really believe that it's these collaborations that can lead to effective action on climate.